Hey folks, and welcome. Today I want to ask a question that I've been asking students for a long time. So maybe if you'd like to write something down, which would be good, get yourself some paper and pencil, because thinking and writing should always go together. But let's see if I can share my desktop with you. Okay, so here's my question. And I usually put this on the board within the first or second day of school. And that would be the question: why are you here? And I usually get a student that asks, like, what do you mean here? Do you mean like on the planet? Or why am I in Algebra 2 class? And both of those are worthy questions, but really kind of like, okay, so why are you here, like in my math class or my physics class or whatever class I'm teaching right now? Why are you here? And always the conversation follows this train at some level. Sometimes it happens fast, sometimes it happens a little bit slower, but here's the way it works. Students will say, well, I'm here because I want to get a good grade. And I say, well, why do you want to get a good grade? And they say, well, because I want to, pass the class and do well. I was like, okay, what does that get you? They say, well, eventually I've got to pass some other classes. I want to graduate. And I say, okay, then what? And they say, well, the good grades and maybe the passes, I can go to a good college. And I say, so what do you get then after college? Or maybe some other vocational training or something like that. And then the response is, well, then I get a job. And I say, do you want just any job? And they're like, no, I want a good job. And so I say, what do you call a job that like you do for a long period of time and you work up to say, oh, I want a career, C-A-R-R-E-E-R? I forget how to spell career. I should look that up. But then I say, what do you want then? And then they say, money. And I say, what do you want money for? What does that get you? And usually it kind of follows the same path. Money buys them things like cars or houses or things like that. Helps them to afford maybe a family and so forth. And then I say, well, okay, then what? What does that get you? And sooner or later, somebody says this word. Somebody says, happiness. And then I say, well, what does happiness get you? And then there's confusion. I say, what do you want happiness for? What's the next thing on the list? And very quickly, students discover that, oh, this is the end goal. What they want in life is they want happiness. And this is seen sort of as a path to get them there. And that's what they're here for. So I say, surprise, why are you here in my algebra class? Well, you're here ultimately for happiness. And then I ask, well, are you happy? And no, they're not. And so what's going on here? But we got to answer this question. I think it's kind of silly maybe to ask. If I'd have asked from the beginning, I would have gotten more strange looks. Is there anybody that doesn't desire happiness? I don't think so. I think that's kind of a silly question. I'm almost afraid to ask it now, even on video. Certainly everybody desires happiness. How do you get it? And why is algebra or physics or whatever subject that you're taking in school, if you're taking it now or when you took it then, why was that somehow on your path to happiness? That's a good question. Let's just call this part one. Why are you here? You're here for happiness. But this is not the end of the discussion. Let's continue it in part two. So I hope you have a good day. Tune in for part two.